Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today is a very fun, exciting day here at the house and the nursery because we are finalizing all of the irrigation. It's actually been finalized. We're going to test it today, and we are going to stain the fence because now that we have the irrigation is in, once we stain the fence, then we can start planting plants in the berm. So stinking excited about this. We kind of have a little bit of all hands on deck here today. Have Sweet Thing here with me because we're going to talk about the irrigation, and that way in case I mess something up, he can correct me. We are standing here at the house right at the well. If you will remember, we were here just a couple of days ago. You can check out the video. I have it linked above if you want to see what exactly I am talking about and get up to date. But we are going to have run, Jerry and Josh have run a 1-inch PVC line from our well directly to the berm. So of course, by doing that, we had to trench some major lines. So let me just give you an idea here. We are right here at the yard. You can see there is the well. If you remember back in that video, we had to dig this whole area out. This line right here is going to the irrigation in the yard. This is the irrigation, not irrigation, the main water line to the house. And then this is what Jerry and Josh did yesterday. So this is going to be the irrigation source for the entire berm. And you can see what a massive trench it is. So it is going all the way out there. Josh is beginning to bury those lines. So we're going to walk you through that whole area and just kind of explain it to you one more time. And then Jerry's going to turn the water on and we're going to see if she holds and how it does. So let's just kind of walk and talk. You can go ahead and turn the water on.
Yeah. Well, I'll meet you up there at the box.
Okay, he's going to meet us up there at the box. So let me just walk you through this area again. The lines run about, I don't know, average about 2 feet deep down. Because we are in North Carolina, our ground never really freezes, so we don't have to bury it super deep and worry about freezing, the ground freezing. You will see we have a black corrugated pipe right here. That is from the drain that is over there at the driveway. Comes through, they actually cut it when they were digging this line. No big deal, they have patched it. We now know where it is. And then the trench continues. So Josh will use the Bobcat like he is now and come back through and bury all of this. It is super exciting that we get to have these brand new beds on irrigation because it is going to be just such a game changer for these plants. The berm flower beds are in full hot sun up to sundown, all day sun. So to have irrigation on them is a nice, big, huge deal. It is quite a long distance that the irrigation has to run. That is why we did a solid PVC pipe all the way so that we would have pressure all the way up here to the berm and even the gate. The sweet boys got me irrigation to a new bed that we're going to create and the sign entrance bed. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, so here we are. Jerry is showing you. This is one of the control valves right here. This is what's going to control the 2 zones for the berm. We do have the 2 valves, and so that is what will click on the irrigation and off, and there goes some water. Woo! So we've got to get build up some pressure, but you can see throughout there we have
going down there brown.
It is. Yeah. So we're doing this so we can clean out the lines, and there's 4 of them on each side. We're going to have a zone on each side of the berm, and you can see here in a second it's going to build up some pressure. So this one will shoot water here in just a minute. The reason that we're going to go ahead and shooting the water out now before, there she goes. Look at that. Look at that beautiful clean water. Yes. So there's 4 of them down there. They are all running really well. We will connect the irrigation lines, the drip tubing, directly to this. So this just gives us access for water. We want to run this right now because it will clean out any residual glue that's there, any little PVC shavings, So you're just cleaning out the lines. That way, when you attach your drip tube, it doesn't get all clogged up. So this is working great. And then we're gonna flip around and he's gonna do the other side. Let's see. There's one right here in front of me on the other side. We'll see how that goes. It's all so very exciting, y'all. Who knew that you could get so excited about irrigation and water and pipes? It's a beautiful thing. Oh, here we go. Let me show you. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. I apologize. I've already had my 2 cups of coffee today. Look at that. Gorgeous water. Happy, happy, happy. So we do have the 2 zones here at the berm, one on each side. We'll run them at separate times, so that's wonderful. And then coming across the driveway, we have got 2 more zones because we are going to create a brand new flower bed in this whole section right here. So from the fence to me is going to be a new flower bed. I've already got plants ready to go in here. I am itching to get them in. We have another control valve box right here. It's the 2 valves again that he will flip on. And you can see the little, I told Josh and Jerry, I said they look like either little snakes or little worms popping up out of the ground. So this will have irrigation in this bed, and then we're going to come up and we're going to trench so that we have.
That may be the one that's on now, is the one that's trenched. We're gonna get through too. It's probably blowing a lot of water out at the top.
All right, so we're still learning which valves control which zones. So it may have been the other one that he turned on that will go to the entrance sign bed, and then the other section is going to be here. Let's see. There we go. Look at that, my loves. Gorgeous water. Beautiful, beautiful water. And we have that just periodically through here. We've got one more. It's got to build up some pressure. There we go. Oh, 2 more. Yes. So the one on the very, very end down here, it was actually in the beginning having some brown water come out, and that is because it is cleaning out those lines. So I mean, because of course when you're working, you have dirt that gets in there. There we go. There's some pressure. So he's turned them off. Nope. Let's see. Anyway, he's fiddling with it. Y'all ever fiddle? So trying to just figure it out, because this will service this whole flower bed right here. I've got camellias that I'm gonna put in here. I've got some fothergillas. I've got some oak leaf hydrangeas that are gonna, hang on. So we're checking water. So the water pressure is not quite right. So he's asking me to check. Oh, yeah, a lot. So either something didn't get capped off or something. So let's dig in here, see what's going on. All right, there's that. And this, my friends, is why you test the irrigation before you cover up your trenches, because you want to make sure that things are working correctly. That way, like this pipe, it was not closed off, so because it's going to go up to the entrance bed, no problem. He's got that. Yeah, so you always want to test the irrigation before you cover up your trench lines. That way, if there's an issue, it's a whole lot easier to fix right now than it is obviously when they are buried. Now, what we're going to do, we are going to stain this fence. So let me show you exactly what we're going to do. Give you an idea. So obviously here we are at the entrance to the nursery, and we already have the split rail fence, right? So that has been existing, and then you can see like we had to replace a rail that was rotten, and then this is the new part that then goes all the way down. Down here, kind of on the other side of where Josh is. Of course, this is our driveway. At this point, we're not gonna have a gate at the driveway. If we need to, at a later time, we will put a gate there. But here we have the whole fence, and we are going to use the sprayer and we are going to stain it. Jerry took my my paint can, so I'm going to show you, because I know you're going to ask what color we're going to use. So let me show you which stain color we're going to use. Here we get our paint from Sherwin-Williams. We have a great Sherwin-Williams store in Gastonia that we like to use. So this is their Woodscapes. It is considered an exterior house stain. It is a solid stain, and we are using color, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but it is color 3022 Black Alder. And we are loving this because I actually went ahead and hand brushed that little section down there at the creek because we have the Carolina Sapphire that is really close by. I don't want to paint my plants. And so I brushed that. It looks gorgeous. I loved it. When I was hand doing it, I used, this is just a regular angled paintbrush. It was not the best because of course that wood is super thick and chunky. So Jerry picked up the deck and siding brush, which you can see a little bit how much thicker that is, and we'll really get into all of those nooks and crannies for on that rough wood, because it is very rough, lots of grain and texture in there. So we want to really get that stain all down in there so it really saturates the wood and have a great color. So the plan is that he's going to go through and spray the wood, and as he's spraying it, then I'm going to come back behind him with the brush and really get it in and make sure that there's no drips, that all the wood is covered, and just kind of smooth out the stain, because if we were to hand brush this, it would take forever to do. So we have a sprayer. We've had this thing, gosh, for years, used it a ton of different places. So we're going to use the sprayer for that, and then I'm going to come back through. Josh is going to continue to cover up these lines, and yeah, I think the only other thing I wanted to tell you, I forgot to tell you that this is a water-based stain. It is not an oil-based, it is a water-based. Just makes life so much easier when you're in the cleanup process. So without further ado, we are going to get to work. He's going to spray and I'm going to brush. Alrighty, my friends, so we've got the fence is stained 100%, and I'm not gonna lie, one, it looks amazing, but yet again, Jenny's brain was much more ambitious in what we thought we could get done today, but the fence is stained and I love it. It blends very naturally into the environment, the surroundings. It does not stick out. It is a beautiful complementary color to just all of the nature that is around us. So down here at where the gate is going to be, the service gate is going to be, is one of the best places you can really see how the color just kind of fits in so nicely. So we have on this side, we have the popcorn viburnum on the left, and then the Carolina sapphire there to the right. And you can see our poplar trees, which are kind of that grayish color behind them. This black alder stain is, the best way that I can describe it is like a great kind of a chalkboard black. It's not quite black and it's not quite gray. It's a bit of a smoky color and just blends in and looks so nice. I do love it for sure. The little section over here that I just showed you that was beside the Carolina sapphire, I hand stained it the other day. Sometimes I just, you just need some time by yourself outside. So I did that. I had the wrong brush, but it probably took me like an hour and a half or so to do that one little section. So imagine doing, I think there's 11 panels on this side and then 8 on the other. I mean, it would have taken us forever if we had hand done it. But using that sprayer was for sure the way to go, because Jerry was able to really put it in there nice and thick. You can see, I think, with that grain, how just absolutely rough it is. So you really have to lay the stain in there, and then I went back with that nice thick brush and just worked it in, because I did not want any grain to be showing. This was a solid stain, and so there's just no wood grain showing whatsoever as far as like the color, right? You can still see the grain of the wood, but the color now is completely that stain. So like for right here, that's a little thin, right? You can still see the brown coming out. So Jenny might have to go back there with the paintbrush and get that, so that way it can be nice and thick in there. But doing a water-based stain as opposed to like an oil-based stain makes life so much easier, because the cleanup is just so easy. Just wash everything off with water. My hands are quite they're quite painted right now. So after a good nice soak in the bathtub and a little scrubby, it'll come right off. But let me show you all the way up here, and you can see probably too, that the soil got a little bit of overspray on it. That is fine. We'll get in here, work it all out, and no problem whatsoever. Of course, it makes the most sense to go ahead and stain the fence before we put the plants in. I was really hoping that we could get some plants in the ground today, but alas, it just didn't happen. Again, my brain is always so over ambitious. We started out with 3 gallons of stain, and then I had to go stop because we ran out. And then I went and ended up going and getting a total of 8 more gallons. And so that got us well through. Everybody was nice and thick, got nice good stain on here, and then we still have some left over, which is great. So that way if we need to come back and touch up, we can touch up. If we need to replace a rail, at some point, then we have extra stain left over. And this is what we also use at the nursery if we're doing posts for signs and things. So it's nice to have some on hand. Over here, of course, is that other section in the woods. So excited with how that is. The leaves, of course, took most of the spray. The trees are doing pretty good. We had just a little bit of overspray on some of the trees, but for the most part, Jerry was able to do it really nicely, so we don't have, funky looking trees. There are some shadows in there, but overall, it is really well. Looks great. Cannot wait to get the trees and the plants in there. It's going to happen like I said, I was hoping it was happening some today, but it just didn't work out. And it was like 80 degrees today, which was pretty warm. The morning was nice and cool, and then the sun came out. It was nice and hot. We are going to get 2 days of rain, so that's going to push us off a little bit as far as getting the plants in the ground. So we'll see. A little disappointed on that. Wish we could get them in there now, because I'm just ready to see some plants in there and to see what it's going to look like when it all comes together. But to have the fence stained is a huge thing. The irrigation is working. Water is there. All we have to hook up is, once we get the plants in the ground, then we can start to hook up some irrigation and the lines. So that is always a wonderful, wonderful thing. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. It was kind of an all-day event. We started this morning about 9:30 or so. We had to get some homeschool in, so we did that. We had a plant delivery at the nursery, so take care of those odds and ends. By the time we got started, it was like 9:30. It took a while to go get the paint because of traffic, and then you have to wait. But you know what? It is done. The project is done as far as that goes. So I am very happy. So next thing is plants in the ground, and it's going to look exciting and so fun. Cannot wait. Of course, we will take you along for the ride as always. Thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.